Alright, y'all, so welcome on in. It's gonna be a serious, very serious episode today. Okay, so hold on to your titties, because this is very serious. Super, super, duper serious. We are having our very first Paladins Bugcast courtroom. Okay? Okay? This is happening. Okay? Very, very serious. This is case number 18. Okay? And if you've never heard of our law firm before, then you don't know what's up, because it's the Bug Tino Potato El Katachi and Associates law firm. We're the #1 law firm to bust you out of your bustastic bussy-villic duties. Today's case title is Paladins finally over? Location, Bussyville. Realm, Paladins, Florida.
I need you to know, they said, is Paladins over? And I was like, dun, 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 dun.
I can't. I can't do this without laughing. It's too funny. But, today, we are the plaintiff, the Paladins community, coming together. And we are suing the defendant, Hi-Rez. Because what do? So, hold on. Wait. Codian, you sent me what? Oh, the mallet. Okay, hold on. Hit the ding ding. I gotta put that super loud too. I can't with you guys. Listen, it is about to go down.
You can, you just don't want to admit it.
I'm gonna lower this a little bit. So we're about to get into it. And our first order of business, very Shakespearean script. I like it. Very like bustastic and very demure. Yeah, I don't script things ever. But welcome on in. We're gonna have a fun time, but we are gonna be talking about some serious things. But before we get started, I need you to know it's on and popping. Okay? That was perfect. It's happening. We're putting Hi-Rez on the chopping block. Okay, we're gonna have a very lengthy yet respectful yet hilariously serious discussion about everything, because there's a lot to unpack. Not everybody knows what's going on, what the hell I'm even talking about, so I'm gonna put you on to some of the stuffs. Now, I apologize in advance. My Twitter is cursed, as most people's Twitters is. But yeah, there's just oh yes, gone live, even better than SNL. Yes. No, but first and foremost, let's go to the actual post. I retweeted it somewhere where I made fun of this guy. Let me find it. I think it's replies. I've done retweeted so much shit. Is it this one? No. Oh, right here. Okay, so this is the official post. I'm not reading all that. Y'all can definitely go read on your own. You have eyes. Here you go. There's a link. Made it even easier for you. Entertain yourself. Have a good read. Some of you need to practice reading anyway, so it's fine. But yeah, this is the post. Homeboy basically said, you know, hi, sorry, not sorry. We're putting all of our resources into Smite 2. Now, Tip came into my chat the other day and mentioned this. Didn't think anything of it because I didn't think it was that serious. I didn't think that it was this level. And let me not say that serious. I don't want to use that wording. I didn't think it was this big of an impact, actually. And then I read this, and then I started seeing everyone else's experience. Now, there's been a lot of reposting of this specific Twitter post, but this is the initial one that was posted to inform everyone of the changes. Now, let me see. This has been reposted 600 times. Let me view the quotes. There's a lot of memery. There's a lot of doom posting too around this, so I'm not trying to spend too much time on that. Okay, here's a good post. Because Cyberbolt, you know, as we all know, used to not only create content but was also very much involved with Paladins, you know, on all levels. So this is a very good take. He said management is 100% at fault here. Ex-employees have shared horror stories with me about how chaotic the workplace is. Projects change and get dropped without warning by nepotism, hires, and leadership. High-Res's problem is and always will be leadership. Your friends chasing year-old trends. I agree. And there's still a lot of other creators posting about this. Let me go back to Cryptic's post because I did comment on it. Let me go to their profile because I did like what they had to say about it. Let me see. This was an individual that was impacted, which I read his posting. He said, I was sadly among those impacted by the layoffs at High-Res Studios. It's been a pleasure to have had the opportunity to work on Smite and Smite 2, but my heart will always be to Paladins. And a lot of them have the same sentiment. Like, they're worded very differently, but you're going to see a lot of them that were affected don't have any ill will towards Paladins, which, I mean, that's crazy. Like, why would they, you know? It wasn't their doing. It wasn't their fault. And it's just really sad. But some of the comments, and I won't name names, and we'll get into more of the posts, but some of the comments under some of those posts were very vulgar, saying things like the devs deserved to be laid off, which I don't agree with that. So I want to start there. How do you feel about this, first of all? And we'll go in order. So, Tino, how do you feel about all this? Like, first of all, do you think that they deserve that? Does anyone deserve to lose their jobs over something that's out of their control?
I mean, no one really deserves it. At the end of the day, it is though, that's kind of like what it comes down to, is that, you know, ultimately, it is unfortunate that this is the decision that they went with. You know, when a business starts falling, this is something that happens, not even just in gaming communities, of any business, really. Which is sad to see, because, you know, he even admits that in the post that, like, hey, this is definitely due to my fault, and I'll take ownership and accountability, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But, like, the action, like, what are you doing to compensate for all of this besides layoffs? Like,
yeah, that's a really good question. Like, I hope people were compensated.
Like, granted, he's not gonna put out his financial stuff out there.
No, but have some kind of package or something in play for your employees.
Right. Yeah, because this isn't the first time either. Like, it's been like smaller groups over the last, like, a couple months at a time for the last year or so. They've been doing it like that so that it's, you know, like, not as big of a seeming impact. But yeah, I think this last one was a big impact because it was like 40, 50 people.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, you know, like in 2015 here and there.
It's like one or.
But yeah, every couple months for the past year, they've been slowly doing layoffs and more. They went from their original marketing team went from like 15 to I think just barely over 5 or 6 now.
Yeah.
And that's just within this last year. And that was for Smite, not even for Paladins.
Yeah.
What's been happening to Paladins too. Like,
right. It was only a matter of time. What about you? How do you feel about it, Raze?
Honestly, it's just the same way. Like, there's really nothing to add on to what Justin just said. Like, that's literally how I felt about it too. Like, I'm just like, how are you going to compensate these guys that you're laying because you ran your business down into the ground?
Yeah. Right.
Like they didn't deserve this type of treatment. Like, they put their heart and soul. They put their heart and soul into this fucking company because they love what they did, and then you're gonna just lay them off because you're a fuck up.
And that's the thing. Like, my whole thing when I first heard of it was, you don't have all these other games that you could be finding them work for, or your connects. Like, there's ways to go about this, and that's why I wrote that the way that I did. There's definitely a better way to go about this and handle it to where your employees are taken care of in situations like this. Either provided some kind of package where they're safe because their families are affected. You know, obviously they had to move to wherever to work. You know what I mean? So it's like, not all of them, but some of them. But yeah, exactly.
It's some of their livelihood.
Yeah, some of their children will have to go to new schools now. Like, we don't know. I mean, I don't know the extent of it, but I'm just kind of throwing things out there to give you an idea as to why some of the people I mentioned this morning, making comments about how some of the devs deserve this. No one deserves to lose their job, and you're very childish to comment something insensitive like that. I know the internet could be insensitive, but girl, for people who don't even play the game anymore to be insensitive and toxic towards devs who don't even fucking work for the game anymore, that's not cool. We've got people already doxing and that kind of behavior happening to people who are already going through bad shit. Like, why are we doing this still? Why? What do you gain out of harassing someone, let alone a dev who just lost their fucking job and now has to figure out the rest of their life in a day? Like, huh?
They have to restart from scratch.
Right. Not only that, I'm gonna go back to this. I mentioned it earlier. I want to say, and I want to give the credit where it's due. As much shit as I have my personal self, and I will say this live and recorded about Cryptic, I did appreciate their take or their response. And I was trying to find that post because I commented on it. I'm gonna have to go back to their profile to see it, but my response was literally like, this is the most transparent thing I've seen about this today, GG. Because literally, like, they were giving the proper sympathy to the people that were affected, instead of just trashing people. Let me see if I can find... Okay. This right here, October 1st. So, this is the post I was talking about. They said, so let's chat about the future. Despite today's painful and frustrating events, Evil Mojo's team size did not change after today's events. We did lose a person, and we welcomed another back from Titan Forge. However, we still lost others over the past few months and miss them. Our team is small, but we have a lot that we want to accomplish, and our plans prior to today's reorganization or reorg remain I'm not sure what that... Reorg remain intact. Anyways.
I think that's referring to in the post how he kept saying it was like something about like imbalancing the team or something like that.
Yeah. It's just like when people condense in the middle of that and then don't for the others, it's weird. I don't like that, but whatever. We aim to release a large update later this month, bringing new event pass, changes to over 20 plus champions, and several surprises we think players will love. I love how they say we think. Yeah. Keep thinking. We then plan to release one more regular update this year, right before our usual holiday break. We'd already begun planning for 2025 and updates with new features, improvements, balance changes, room for communities, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Not reading that. But the very last part of the thread right here, our game has one of the most loyal and passionate communities. No one can say no to that. Like, that's very, very true. And you see it. I've seen nothing but sad posts and, like, people are trying to get that hashtag again, Paladins deserves better or something like that. Everyone's trying to get that trending. I've been seeing a lot of people do art. The art community, bruh, they're lit. For the last 48 hours, I've seen nothing but art just with that hashtag. Like, everyone, even Thunderbrush gave his input. You know what I mean? So it's like everybody's talking about this, you know? This is a big deal, obviously, but it's the fact that Cryptic, if Cryptic still believes that there's still more to be done, I will use that as my last little bit of hope, because they were the reason why some of those newer game modes kind of came to light, and I will give them that credit. I'm sure there were others involved as well, but if it weren't for those small group of people, we wouldn't still be getting new content. And that's the thing, like, people have to open their eyes and acknowledge it where it's due, you know? We could sit here and be mad at the CEO all day long, but as players, and this brings me to another post, and a player, I think, commented on something and asked Cryptic, hey, as a player, how can I help more? I think it's this one right here. So someone said, I was wondering, how can we support as a player the game? Is there any better way to contribute with the cause? I'd love to help as a Paladins player. It's a random person that commented that. They responded with, help new players learn the game. Share what makes it special and unique in the genre. Introduce friends, be kind to one another in game. The best way to support Paladins is to make it Help us make it a better game for people to come join us and stay beyond a few sessions. Okay. On paper, that sounds great, right? Honestly, that post is what prompted me to want to talk about this tonight. I even quoted it and mentioned, we do this podcast meeting every week. Literally, we do the meeting every week on Wednesdays. We do the episodes on Saturdays. Plenty of times I've gotten new viewers come in and ask questions. I've had people in game come to the vibes that showed up during one of these and was super grateful that we were discussing this stuff. It does help people. So it's like, I understand the frustration and the anger. I want to be just as mad as you. You know what I mean? But if anyone is listening to this and has the right mind and does love the game for what it is, besides all the shit that makes it bad, let's just take all that out of the equation for a little bit. If you truly love the game, help it be better and stop helping kill it. Who cares if they're not going to give us what we want? Why not show others that it is what we see in it, the shit that we see in it? You know, there's so many people that they only see the bad because there is so much bad being talked about. But what about the good? What about the funny moments? Why else does anyone else come to watch me? I'm bad at the game, but I make it fun. Everyone's told me that multiple times. You know what I mean? We all have a soft spot for this game, whether you want to admit that or not, you know? So it's like, I don't really understand where the toxicity or the harassment or, you know, threatening death threats and stuff to some of those devs. Like, I don't understand that aspect of it. And I didn't even go to Reddit because I did not want to see what was going down over there. I'm sure it wasn't that bad, but there are just some.
No, no, that whole page got took down.
Oh, shit.
It's gone.
Oh, well, it's a good thing I didn't see it. Was it that vulgar?
I don't know. I didn't get to read it because when I went to go look, it was gone already by the time I looked at got my hands to it. Like, I went to go see what they were saying on Reddit, and there's no Reddit page up for it.
Oh,
like they're
my
in
God.
one that's taken down.
For Paladins or high res?
For both.
What? The Paladins
Like,
Reddit?
Not the Paladins Reddit. It's more of like on the Reddit of the layoff. It's more.
Oh, specifically the layoff.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So they're trying to silence anyone. See, and that's the issue I have, right? Everyone should be allowed to tell their story. Like, you should not be silencing anyone that used to work for you, especially after you just laid them off. If they've got tea, especially if they were done dirty and wrong, they have a voice. They have a right to speak just like anyone else. So that I don't like. I don't like hearing that at all. Like,
Yeah, like that subreddit for that specific thing for like the slash layoff. Like,
Stop it,
there's
Codian.
nothing- It's not even there.
yeah.
Like the page is not down. Like they took down the page. So I was like, oh.
They're definitely hiding something.
Yeah, I'm like,
They don't want something to get out, and that is very sketchy and sus to me. Because why are you scrubbing already? It's only been 48 fucking hours. Why are you scrubbing already? Huh? Like, that's crazy.
No, switch game series.
But as far as like, I want to get into another aspect of it. What Cryptic was mentioning about that comment. How do you guys feel about that player that's asking how to be a better player? Honestly, that touched my heart a little bit. Like, oh, I'm not the only person that loves Paladins like this? Like, because I've talked like that plenty of times, even when I was new. And the high elo players would always make me feel like shit for having hope for the game. So let's talk about that for a minute. That's something that we really don't talk about or address. Like, when you try to get a new friend or try to talk about Paladins with someone and there's negative connotation, how do you respond to that? Because you also know what they're saying is not cap either. like you agree with them, but it's
Every
like
game has its negatives.
yeah.
Especially with it being online, like every game's gonna have the same baseline problems with it being online.
Especially with the competitive scenes as well.
Especially
Now, if my friend who never plays those types of games, I would never ask them to play that game because I know they're gonna say no because they're not into it.
yeah. I'll just put gaming communities right there. Excuse me. But like, what would be a way to change the connotation around that? Let's say you're talking with someone that hasn't played this before. And they're seeing all this, you know? Because that's another thing that I thought about that no one really talked about. All of this is not giving Paladins a good look right now either. So like, how do we change that conversation to where, because I don't know, I just looking through those posts and the responses,
I've
oh,
been muted.
I was wondering where you went. Damn.
Hi.
How much have we missed of what you said?
Not too much. I have been pretty quiet, but
Okay.
I realized just now I was muted.
Oh. But yeah, so that's a new like way we're going. So how are we trying to change the conversation around Paladins right now? Because for me, it's not the end, it's a new beginning. That's how I'm looking at it. But that's also just me being very hopeful.
I mean, if you want me to be brutally honest, I'm not looking at a good.
Yeah, no one is right
This
now.
the end of Hyros, to be honest.
It's very worrisome the way he worded some things. Like, we're basically like putting all our baskets into Smite 2. I have lots of issues with how they have run Smite 2 so far.
Mm-hmm. Well, like, share some of that, because like I don't play that. So, like, do you feel like you're seeing the resources being put to work, or like?
So they're not even like giving us really a new game. All they're really doing, I mean, they're changing it from Unreal Engine 3 to Unreal Engine 5, which is a huge upgrade, but it's the same base game. Like, still the conquest is like kind of the thing. The way they ran the alpha is you had to pay to be part of the alpha.
Really?
Like, it's not even in beta stage yet, and you're like having people pay to test this shit out. That was a very poor thing. They also have one of the biggest concerns is like the skins. They're basically wiping all, since it's going to be a new game, they're wiping all the account. Like, you're starting with a new account and everything. So all of these skins that you've accumulated, some people have spent hundreds of bucks on some of these skins. Like it's wild. They're granted, they have some really fucking sick skins.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nothing is transferring over. What you do get is like what you've spent and stuff in your original account. You'll get like what they call like legacy coins that you can use for like part of that skin.
That's weird.
Not even to
What?
get the full skin.
That's the
You
same
only
shit
get
they
like
did with
half
Overwatch
of it.
2.
Yeah.
That's the same shit they did with Overwatch 2.
And that's like what they were planning on for their like big monetization or whatever.
Monetization. Oh my god, monetization.
Right.
Jesus, I couldn't say it either. I was like, wait.
Is they were betting on like, cool, like that was kind of like their breadwinner for Smite 1 was all the skins and
I
stuff.
don't have any more snoozes for
how
the ads.
they are really doing it now has a lot of people a really poor taste in their mouth with how they ran the.
Girl, I don't
the
even
legacy
play, but
coin
that just
skins
made
and
me
stuff like
mad. That ain't even my money being wasted, but that just made me mad. Like, girl.
And then yeah, like it only had like, so Smite 1 has like, gosh, I don't even know the exact number, but it's anywhere from like 120 to 150 gods right there. Like, that's a huge champion pool, right?
Yeah.
The alpha that you're paying for to test the game, it's not even going to be the actual full game.
Yeah.
Only had about like 30 or 40 champions.
What? That's such a ripoff. What the hell?
And they stated like, hey, we're gonna slowly, like, what is it, like every month put out like a couple of new gods or something like that. Like, they had a plan to like have it was gonna take a couple of years basically to get all the new gods.
That's wild.
Or to get all the gods transferred over and stuff like that.
I like the point that Blobbertum is putting in chat there.
Incredibly poor execution on it, and it is not ran over well, and now they're putting all their eggs into trying to make this work.
So it all started from a point of, what's that word?
Start.
They didn't deliver.
And y'all know I was super hopeful for Smite 2.
Yeah, like you were really hyping it up.
For Paladins to be an actual thing if Smite 2 actually was like super successful.
Yeah.
But it was almost the complete opposite of what everyone wanted it to. So
yeah,
that's why I look at it in a very worrisome manner from what he worded.
Yeah.
Like, especially the fact that like outside of Smite 2, the teams are only going to be there to do maintenance updates kind of things, or whatever that was worded as.
Yeah, I saw that.
Paladins isn't Smite 2, so are we actually expecting new content, or are we expecting what we've gotten for the past year? just a bunch of recycled content. Maybe one patch out of the year gives us new content.
Yeah. And
Like, is that how slow we're going through things now? This is just a recycled game at that point, and it's gonna get very. If there's not something new, like I'm already, you know how I felt about the past few patches. So.
Oh, 100%. And it's
gonna die out.
Yeah.
And that's why I said it's at a
Yeah,
very poor
Pirates.
timing too, because 2 months out, Marvel Rivals releases, and
yeah, everyone's gonna be on
the
that.
community of Paladins is just sitting here waiting
For
it
that.
out till Marvel Rivals.
Everybody's
I'm one of
waiting
those
on
fucking
games,
people
yeah.
right now. Like, I'm sorry, once Marvel Rivals comes,
Yeah.
the boy's probably never gonna be on Paladins unless I'm playing with y'all.
Yeah. No, and I feel it, and that's why I want to have this conversation. Like, please have your own opinions. Don't be echo chambers in me. I want to hear it because that is why.
That's just like, I'm gonna be like brutally honest on
No,
this one.
do it, please do, because like I want pure honesty because this is going on YouTube, and I will be clipping this and posting it on Twitter, honey, 100%. But I want to give the credit where it's due, and that post that Cryptic posted gave me that. You know, them saying, you know what, hey, it happened. You know, it is what it is. Sure, that's going to affect it. Like, they basically acknowledged, hey, we're still here. We're still kicking. It's going to affect us. Shit's going to be slow. But, like, the people that love the game are going to wait. We're going to see, you know?
Yeah,
we
I was happy
basically,
to
we
see
have
that
no
Cryptic
expectations.
said their team size didn't change, because that was one of my things that I was worried about. Like, dude, Paladins can't lose no more.
Yeah.
Like, we're already on a skeleton.
No, I was looking for that. I was specifically looking
whenever
for
he
that.
said that the team hadn't changed, and like they lost one, but they also gained one, and it's from Titan Forge, which is, you know, I think like a sister company or something like that.
Right.
So don't quote me on that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, like it's still the same number of people overall, so like it's still a balance. Oh, at least what it has been, a balance as a team.
Blobberton put in the chat calling for boycott and limiting of in-game purchases. That on paper sounds like it would help, but that would hurt Paladins right now. If everyone were to do that, like, Paladins isn't Smite 2. So I hope you're meaning for Smite 2.
Well, people are trying to boycott Smite 2, right? Or at least like purchasing it. Like,
yeah,
there's a big demand for it to come out free to play, which
I have
their
seen
whole
that.
monetization not really taken off like they wanted it to. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how you're supposed to lean into a skin monetization and charge people to play an alpha version. Like, who the fuck
Like,
thought of
for that
I'm
to
sorry,
work,
I'm
there
gonna be
has
rude
to
on
be
that one,
some
but that's
free somewhere.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not gonna
yeah.
pay for the incentive.
Like,
of what
or
actually makes
give
the
me
game
an incentive.
more fun.
Like, let's say, okay, you watch your favorite streamer play Smite, right? Let's say you pay for every $1 that every $5 that you're spending, you get like a drop that's a champion or skin or something. Like, make it incentivized, almost kind of how AFK does for the sponsorship. Like, oh, spend $10 and we'll reimburse you, and then give you an extra $30. That's a sponsorship. That's different, but the same kind of tactic. Like, hey, I'll give you this for this if you do this. Like, something like that. Give me something. Exchange. Give me value, because it doesn't.
Honestly, their legacy coin thing needs to be a 1-for-1 value, not a 1-for-1 or what is it? 1-for-0.5 value.
1-for-0.5 is just such a ripoff. But like, if you were giving me,
You're
if you were writing me a
literally getting half the
contract,
value.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, hey, I spent all this money,
Oh, bro.
and they're like, cool, well, we're gonna switch the game over to this new system, which is gonna be great for the game, yeah. But also, you have to pay us half of what you did if you want those skins back.
Not even half, a fifth.
Right.
Fifth or something like. Yeah.
Blobbertum, can I put
The
your
way they did
name
that, I'm just
or
like,
or put
y'all did
B
bad on that.
or chat? Chat. I'll put chat.
Don't get me started, Cody, and I do that all the time at work. It's literally-
Jurors? Oh, I like that. Yeah. You're the jury. I forgot. We in court. Jurors. I like that. Yes. See, Bobby got it. Bobby get it. Bobby's like, I'm here. I'm here for the tea. All right. Cody, and to be honest, the only hope we have is for Microsoft or some
Oh
megacorp
my God.
to buy high-res. We need to make
Yeah.
some PowerPoint
Honestly, they just need
presentations and send
money.
them. Yeah.
If Dude, if Evil Mojo specifically, that's the Paladins branch, if they had money, it would be so much better. But like they just don't have the funds to make a lot of the things happen. You
Yeah.
know, hire a more than a skeleton crew.
Yeah, no, I mean, because when you see the
Shit done.
analytics, it doesn't help them.
Right.
Them trying to secure
get it.
funding through banks, like they're gonna look at those what's on paper, and that's what I'm saying. Like everyone thinks that. Look, I know I just said share how you feel, share your stories, whatever, but like the amount of people doom posting on Paladins does not help banks look at that and be like, not just banks, but just in general, funding partners, whoever they're trying to get funding from, like companies.
Well,
they're not gonna look at all that
posts
publicity.
and things like that. They fuck up their stock if they have any kind of value in the stocks.
Yeah,
That's
I
what really
didn't
gets
even
fucked up, and
think
that's what
about
affects the
that.
pricing
Oh
and
my
stuff,
God, Justin, you're a
honestly.
fucking genius. I love you so much. Cause what the fuck? Like I did not think
My
about
roommate
that.
does it, so it came to mind.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised I didn't even think about
It's
that.
like,
But
oh, there's
yeah,
stocks for everything.
there
That's
is
like
though.
shit.
There is. Well, and the thing is like I don't want Paladins to become a pay to play either though. But I also just feel like if there was some kind of out of the box thinking going on there for funding, like come on, I went to college for business marketing. Like I get it. I understand the requirements, the demands, the rules, right? I get it. It's a big fucking world out there in the business world, marketing world, funding world, whatever, gaming world, if you will. There's competitors out there that are aching to take your spot, right? But let's go back to earlier this morning. I was talking to Tachi, and Tachi was like saying about Concord. They put all their fucking yeah, they put all their energy into that,
Concord was the biggest flop.
and bro, it barely lasted. I watched that
did
shit.
I tell you? First day, release day, they didn't even hit 100 fucking players.
Stop it.
So
Stop
it was,
it.
like consecutively, like 100
Yeah.
people playing at the same time.
Yeah. What's up, Yokai?
Like, I think they
Thank
hit
you,
more
Larry.
than 100 like total, but like 100 consecutive players, they didn't even hit that on release date. 'Cause
And
they
that's
did the
my
same
point.
Fucking shit that Smite 2 did. You had to pay for the beta, and everyone
Yeah.
was like, "No, fuck that."
Yeah.
Or no, you had to pay for the game to be part of the beta. and
Biggest gaming
everyone thought
failure
that
in
was
history.
stupid.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
it is.
Valorant. Valorant. Let's talk about Valorant. Valorant, when it was, I remember when that game was the hype, when it first was like
It's still
alpha.
actually super
It
popular.
still is. No, but that's my point. Like when they released it, everyone was dogging them because of how they went about releasing it. Because they were like, they went
Oh.
platform by platform, and they're still region locked, but like just how they went about it was very like exclusive, you know? And then they started making it to where everybody could play. But the point is, they took their time, bro. They took their time. You know what I see Valorant doing that I don't see anyone else doing, including Paladins? Valorant put my boy Otatari and fucking what's her name? Lay Banks, I think her name is, as artists. They're up and coming artists, bro. They're underground artists. Like they're YouTube artists. They're social media artists. Like you don't hear Otatari on the radio. You don't hear Lay Banks on the radio. Like those two are underground artists, and Valorant put their music in literally like the main theme. You know what I mean? Like shit like that gets your game talked about, bro. Valorant was out here commenting in this motherfucker's like pictures and shit. You know what I mean? Like Paladins has to do that.
Probably a good financial move for them too. 'cause
Such a
it's
good
not like
financial
someone big that you're trying to get from.
You have nothing to lose.
Like it sucks to say, but like you usually have a lower price point.
That
to
too.
pay
That
them to
too.
do it.
That ass. Yeah. So it's like going back to how to change the conversation. I have a plan. One of us get rich and buy EM.
Cody, and you want those responsibilities?
Bro, I don't mind being the funder.
EMB and Evil Mojo.
I ain't making no kinds of decisions, but listen.
Yeah, don't put me in charge.
Right. I'll fund it. Y'all handle it. But no, honestly, I think to change the conversation to where it is a positive outlook is us as players doing what we can to voice what we can to save what's left. Because again, going back to the statement, Paladins isn't over, but everyone on Twitter seems to think so. And even if it lasts for a couple more months, at least we got to run a game that we enjoyed with each other. Of course, it's frustrating. All games are, but you know what I mean. Like at the
I
end,
see this dying.
No.
At the earliest, late 2025. Like
Yep.
that's the earliest. I
me
see
too.
it dying.
Yeah.
Like, I still think at least another year
Right.
before Paladins truly does die.
But you know how many times I've seen like this is the
Or at
end
least
for
start going down
Paladins,
the
or like
no return
yeah.
mode.
Overwatch 2, when Overwatch 2 was being released, like I saw so much June posting about Paladins. Paladins is still here. Like
Yeah.
it's an old game that people still love, and it'll always be that, and that's okay. But
Goodness, I think Overwatch 2 helped Paladins, honestly.
yeah, because then people got pissed at that and came fucking to this.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think that overall they need to consider the fact that when businesses are making these decisions, it not only affects one person, it affects multiple people. And those of you that are out here harassing these people that literally just had to go through that, shame on you. You shouldn't be doing that, period, to anyone, let alone people like that just had that happen. I mean, dude, people just got their homes flooded in Florida by Helene, right? Literally less than a couple days later, mad people get laid off, like from fucking the Smite 2 community, or not community, but fucking team. Like, where in that equation does it make sense to make harassing messages to them, or DM them, or dox them, or send death threats, or say that they deserved it? I don't think that. I don't agree with that sentiment at all. And no one should be coming for anyone still vouching for Paladins. You should see the amount of people like posting hopeful posts on Twitter, and then so many toxic people are like coming up under there and just like filling it with shit. And it's just like, look, you get what you give. You get shit when you give shit. Like, you know, you've given this game shit for so many years. Like, obviously, you know, not saying just Paladins, in general, Hi-Rez, like all their games, everyone has something bad to say about Hi-Rez for good reason. Like, why are you not listening to the people that are literally the reason why you're even as big of a company as you are? You know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, this is a very good learning experience for other companies to watch what they're doing, see, learn from it, and hopefully learn to treat employees better, especially in the gaming community. And my heart goes out to everyone that was affected by that. No one deserves it. As for everyone still there at Evil Mojo, my heart goes out to you as well. I don't know what you have to deal with, but I can only imagine. As a creator, I get fucking toxic off one toxic comment. You guys get death threats on the daily. Like, I'm so sorry. You know, are there things you can do better? 100%. But I'm not talking about now, but in the past, coming at your players, that's not a good look for you either, boo. So in the future, I think going forward, we can all agree companies need to do better. They need to listen to their community, and they need to give more respect to the people that are taking time and energy, and sometimes even money, to put in for a collective effort or for something passionate like a project like this that we all love and enjoy and like to share with others. It's never going to go anywhere when there's constant toxicity surrounding it. And I'm not just talking about the toxic player base. I'm talking about on socials too. Every time there is something new, I ain't gonna lie, I'm also a person that will talk really badly about it just because we're highly disappointed. But I can honestly see why now. You know, they've got other things they're worrying about. I get that. But creating new games when you have a perfectly good one right here, that's not the answer. And it never will be. Jurors, do we have anything else to add to that? I've been yapping my titties off.
The jurors.
I love that.
The jury? Does the jury have anything to say? What is the verdict?
So, is Paladins finally over? What's the verdict?
Not me reading that as Saris instead of series.
As for a PvE story for Paladins to lead to merch and series, yeah, that's honestly really good. Let me add that in there. Hold on. JK, that's impossible. Still a really good idea, though. I always said they need a story mode.
I wish they did.
Their lore would literally, you wouldn't have to make up lore. Like,
Their
you,
closest attempt was the wave defense because they added lore to it.
yeah, which was
That's why it's
super
all those,
lazy.
like, skin specific, like those.
Hmm.
what is it?
The IO's corrupt.
Abyssal-
Yeah.
the corrupt ones. There you go.
Yeah.
Corrupt, the abyssal, and the pyre skin.
So what is our verdict? Is Paladins finally over? I say no.
I say not yet.
Not yet. I like that.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
I
Not
am
guilty.
curious to see how it does after Marvel Rivals comes out.
Too soon to tell, but
because
it
I
looks like
think
yes.
That's gonna be a huge impact on it.
We're gonna say not guilty yet. Not guilty. ... Yet.
What did they say when they like they postponed the trial? Trial has been postponed.
I'm gonna say
Till
trials been postponed until Marvels, or what is it?
until further developments or something. I don't know.
Postponed. Wait, oh my god, Jesus Christ. Postponed until further. I can't see in the dark. Holy shit. It's so dark in here. It gets dark like earlier now.
Oh right.
Great verdict. Yes.
Not guilty. Yet.
Sincerely, Omen. You're still Bug Champion. All right, guys. Thank you for attending my court.
This was awesome.
This has been postponed.
All right.